7 News, on your side at noon.
And thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Megan Clarke, and after months of construction and training, so much hard work, we welcome you to our brand new studio. It truly is beautiful. And of course, we want to start with a look at the weather. Meteorologist Steve Rudin joins us with a look at your forecast. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Megan. Glad to be in our new studio, and it looks pretty good in here. We're looking live over at National Harbor right now. Clouds have rolled in, and they're not going anywhere, at least not anytime soon. Brand new noontime temperatures are in. Upper 30s in the district. 41 Chantilly and Gaithersburg, Martinsburg at 37 and 44 in Fredericksburg. First alert weather, satellited radar, not a whole lot going on other than the clouds that are with us for the remainder of the afternoon and through the evening. It's all part of our next weather maker that's going to be plenty of rain to our area over the next several days. Next few hours, if you are going to be outside, we're looking at temperatures that are going to be in the 40s. We will see cloudy skies, but you won't need the wet weather gear. Our wet weather chances are going to go up, especially moving into the day on Thursday. They drop a bit on Friday and Saturday, but from now until Friday, we have a big temperature trend increase. I'll have more on that coming up in just a few minutes. Megan?
All right, Steve, thank you so much. And D.C. police are searching for whoever was responsible for a fatal shooting that happened Monday in Northeast. And they're searching for this vehicle. Take a look, believed to be stolen by 2 teenagers. And the incident happened on Minnesota Avenue Northeast after 4 p.m., just steps away from the Deanwood Metro station.
I wouldn't feel safe if I was just going out at night or driving around the corner. You know, if I had a teenage child, I wouldn't feel safe for him just to walk down the street to a corner store because you never know what could happen.
And D.C. detectives are looking for 3 more suspects in a weekend carjacking. Just after 5 p.m. on Sunday, police say these 3 got in an Uber near South Capitol Street and Southern Avenue in Southwest. And when they arrived to the drop-off location in Southeast, one of them pointed a gun at the rideshare driver and demanded his car keys. He refused, and he was then assaulted and robbed by these suspects. He was taken to a local hospital for his injuries. And police were able to find 3 other teenagers connected to this case. A reward for the other 3 suspects is being offered now in the case. And D.C. police also searching for whoever shot and killed a 23-year-old during a robbery attempt. Ryan Realbuto was on South Dakota Avenue Northeast walking home from a church gathering, and that's when someone tried to rob him and then killed him. Realbuto was in our area helping at-risk teenagers through a program called CAP Corps. A reward of up to $25,000 is now being offered for tips leading to an arrest. And incidents such as these are why the D.C. Council is taking up a major bill today aimed at cracking down on crime. Our John Gonzalez has details now on what we can expect.
A crime crisis in D.C., and now the city council is going back to the drawing board yet again. It feels like here we go again, but this time city council members here at City Hall at the Wilson Building say they've got it right. The committee of the whole is deliberating and will vote on a nearly 90-page bill that addresses crime. The Secure D.C. Omnibus bill includes provisions that allow police officers to engage in car pursuits and review body-worn camera footage. Last year, car thefts increased 82%, robberies jumped 67%, and homicides increased 35%. Well, so far this year, there have already been more than 240 carjackings and 112 robberies. This bill also creates new firearm offenses, including those related to discarding a weapon, tampering with serial numbers, and receiving stolen firearms and ammunition. The legislation would also expand pre-trial detention for adults and juveniles accused of committing a violent crime. Councilmember Brooke Pinto, who wrote the legislation, released a video to her constituents.
The council must pass and the executive must fund Secure DC. Everyone deserves to feel and be safe in the district. Our residents deserve our immediate action.
If passed, Mayor Muriel Bowser says she will sign this bill. There is a long list of provisions. We have them on our webpage, WJLA.com. In Northwest Washington, John Gonzalez, 7 News.
John, thank you. As 7 News is covering the crisis in the classroom, working to learn more about a shakeup in the Montgomery County school system. As Superintendent Monifa McKnight says she's been asked to step away from her job by the school board. As she claims the board did not give a reason for why it's asking her to step away. 7 News contacted the school board, which declined to comment on what it described as a personnel matter. And this all coming as McKnight goes before the school board to present her proposed budget. The discussion has avoided the elephant in the room, but school board president Carla Silvestre did say this as proceedings were getting underway.
Good morning. Before we start, I just want to emphasize that the board is focused on conducting the business of the school system. This morning, we will discuss and analyze the operating budget, one of our most important functions of the Board of Education. We have over 160,000 reasons to remain focused on the work. The board is absolute in our resolve to serve the interests of our students, staff, and families.
Since our last work
And with
session,
that, it was down to work. No mention of the reported effort to have Monifa McKnight step down. Our Kelly Lynn is at today's meeting, and she'll be pressing for answers when that concludes. New legislation has been filed in Virginia that could bring a new entertainment complex, including a casino, to Fairfax County. And this new proposal for the Tysons area comes about a year after a similar bill was filed and rejected for Reston. Now, if passed, the new casino would be built where the label is there on your screen right now, and that's the west side of Route 7 near the Spring Hill Metro Station and Dulles Access Road. If the bill makes it through the General Assembly and it is signed by Governor Youngkin, it'll appear on the ballot for voters in the next election. Well, small business owners in Alexandria are learning more about the proposal to bring the Caps and the Wizards to Potomac Yard. Monumental Sports and Entertainment held a briefing yesterday to answer business owners' questions and to try to ease some of their concerns.
I'm very curious about how they get their foot in the door.
We have the platforms through the Wizards, through the Caps, through our concerts to really help, highlight your businesses to make them successful.
And business owners raise concerns about congestion and traffic. Now, besides an arena for the Caps and Wizards, the proposal also calls for new stores, restaurants, hotels, and housing. The plan includes a new campus featuring the global corporate headquarters for Monumental Sports and Entertainment. And later this afternoon, people in Chantilly are meeting to share concerns about another data center coming to Fairfax County. And this one will be the tallest single data center in Northern Virginia. And neighbors say they're concerned about its size and the impacts it could have. Jay Johnston, president of the Virginia-run Homeowners Association, expressed his concerns, saying, "We don't yet understand the cumulative impacts of energy consumption, water usage, wastewater contamination." He goes on to say, "It's time for common sense to prevail and allow time to review and implement before we create further harm to ourselves and the environment." A protest is planned for 3 o'clock this afternoon in front of the Fairfax County Government Center ahead of the meeting, which starts at 4 o'clock. Well, coming up on 7 News at noon, we're live next with Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks joining us to talk school funding and how she plans to solve a healthcare physician shortage. And a little later, a terrifying act of nature caught on video, what scientists believe is to blame for this rogue wave. Well, the first full moon of the new year is happening this week. According to the Old Farmer's Almanac, January's full moon is known as the wolf moon. And the almanac says the name comes from the belief that wolves howled more during this time of year. Yeah, interesting. January's full moon is also known as the hard moon, old moon, and ice moon. And the full moon peaks on Thursday around midnight. The wolf moon is the second winter full moon following the cold moon in December. Steve has all those memorized, though. So if you have any questions, just ask Steve.
Well, I can give you a hint or a tip. If you're looking for that full moon Thursday night, you're not going to find it because we have showers and clouds that are going to be with us. But it's nice out there right now, even though the clouds have already started to roll in. But at least we are dry, and we'll stay that way moving through the afternoon. Welcome to our new space, everyone.
Welcome.
Love that you're joining us right now, and hope to see you every day at noon. Here's what it looks like from our top of the Salamander, D.C., looking over toward downtown. It's quite quite nice out there, even though temperatures are on the cool side, a lot better than we were just 24 hours ago. 38 degrees downtown. It's 41 in Leesburg, Leonardtown in Southern Maryland at 41. But this is the 24-hour temperature difference, anywhere between about 5 to almost 15 degrees warmer over in Winchester right now compared to yesterday. Grabbing a bite to eat for lunch, we're looking at temperatures that are going to be in the 40s, at least as we move through the afternoon. Now, tonight we are trending mainly on the dry side. However, a few showers may slip into the north of us. Not going to amount to a whole lot with our temperatures inside the Beltway. For the district, Arlington, Alexandria, staying above freezing. I do have some concerns a little bit farther off toward the west and to the north. Temperatures getting pretty close to freezing. If we do see a few showers move on through, may see a few slick spots, and may even see a little bit of patchy fog come early tomorrow morning. We'll continue to keep you updated right here on 7 News, and as always at WJLA.com. Here's our forecast for tomorrow. Yes, cloudy skies. There are the rain showers come tomorrow afternoon. Nothing that's terribly heavy, but of course with the evening rush hour commute, it may slow things down. First alert weather satellite and radar for you. This is our future cast. There's that shower come early tomorrow morning north and west of D.C. Temperatures are critical, but I do believe most of the region will stay above freezing. We're cloudy come noontime tomorrow, so 24 hours from now. And as we head into the afternoon, we're looking at cloudy skies. The wet weather approaches from the west, and by Thursday morning, early in the morning, could be looking at some pockets of moderate rain, and even between a ½ inch to an inch of rain. Snow melt is going to continue, and then moving into the day on Thursday and Friday, we're looking at temperatures that are going to be well into the 60s, and some neighborhoods even closer to that 70-degree mark. As we head into 5 o'clock Thursday afternoon, evening rush hour commute may slow down, and then lingering showers move in early Friday morning, and then most of those are gone as we move into the midday. So the next 7 days in terms of our rain chances, our 5-day rain chances, they go up on Thursday, down Friday, and then up again Saturday night. And the next 7 days, here we go. We're looking at temperatures that are going to be in the upper 60s to around 70 on Friday. Then we're in the 50s on Saturday. Chance for showers again on Sunday, with temperatures at that point hovering just around 50 degrees, but still above normal for this time of year. As always, stay ahead of all of our weather makers. Be sure to have your First Alert weather app ready to go.
All right, Steve, thank you so much. And up next on 7 News at noon, it's still early, but scientists are hopeful this simple blood test could change the way we detect Alzheimer's disease. We show you how it works.
You're watching 7 News, on your side at noon.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us for our first day in our new 7 News studio. We are so excited. And let's give you a live look also over the DMV right behind us here. This Rosslyn meteorologist Steve Rudin is here with a look at what it's looking like out there. Hey, Steve.
Hey, looking pretty good if you don't mind the clouds. At least temperatures are a bit milder compared to yesterday when we started the day with single digits and teens. Today we were in the 20s and 30s. A little bit of ice remains on the river, but that's going to be gone over the next couple of days, with temperatures that are eventually going to reach the upper 50s to middle to upper 60s by the end of the week. Nowhere close to that right now. 38 downtown. Dulles this hour at 41 degrees. So definitely a chill in the air. Beautiful view overlooking the city from our camera here at Rosslyn. Looking at our temperatures that are going to eventually make it to the middle 40s by 2 o'clock. And then we'll start to slide, moving into 4, 5, 6 o'clock into the 30s. But at least we don't have wind chill factors to deal with. Check out our 10-day temperature trend. My goodness. Thursday at 63, 67 on Friday. Both of those days will feature wet weather, and then we cool things down into Sunday and Monday a lot more, with highs actually slightly below normal for this time of year. Coming up, we're checking out our next best chance for wet weather. It's likely to be on Thursday, and of course we're always looking ahead to the upcoming weekend. All that coming up just a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Steve. And 7 News is working to learn more about a shakeup in the Montgomery County school system. Superintendent Monifa McKnight says she's been asked to step away from her job, as she claims the board did not give a reason for why it's asking her to step away. 7 News contacted the school board, which declined to comment on what it described as a personnel matter. And this all comes as the school board returns from a break to hear McKnight present her proposed budget. And this is the PowerPoint presentation being given live right now. The discussion has avoided the elephant in the room, but school board president Carla Silvestre did say this as proceedings were getting underway.
Good morning. Before we start, I just want to emphasize that the board is focused on conducting the business of the school system. This morning, we will discuss and analyze the operating budget, one of our most important functions of the Board of Education. We have over 160,000 reasons to remain focused on the work. The board is absolutely in our resolve to serve the interests of our students, staff, and families.
Since our last
And with that, it was down to work. No mention of the reported effort to have Monifa McKnight step down. And our Kelly Lynn is at this meeting, and she'll be pressing for answers as soon as it concludes. Well, it's your voice, your vote as the New Hampshire primary gets underway. Overnight, the first votes were cast, and the midnight balloting tradition happens every 4 years in the tiny town of Dixville Notch. All 6 registered voters cast their ballots for Nikki Haley, but former President Trump is hoping for another big win in the Granite State. Gregg Lagerquist from our sister station is talking to voters there, and he has an update for us this noon.
New Hampshire always takes its voting and place in the primary process extremely seriously. Today is no different.
It's extremely important because people should come out and show their support for whoever they are in favor of. Sitting home doesn't accomplish anything.
And relatively few are expected to sit home with what's expected to be record turnout, specifically on the Republican side.
Trump. I voted for Trump. I think he did a great job.
What he did before, what he's going to do again.
The polls have shown Trump consistently with a double-digit lead here in New Hampshire heading into today. That seems to indicate that for Haley to have a chance, she needs a strong push from independents and late-breaking undecided voters.
I was debating on who, but, other people who dropped out, so it's like,
On the other side, a push among Democrats to write in Joe Biden, who is off the ballot after a dispute between the National Democratic Party and New Hampshire over whether the Granite State should be first. Many Democrats are voting, even as many are clearly irritated by the split.
It's like, if you want my vote, you have to ask for it. And I'm a little peeved at the DNC right now. I kind of feel like disenfranchising New Hampshire was not smart.
Now, one complicating factor, the fact that Joe Biden is a write-in candidate, that could slow things down when it comes to counting the ballots on the Democratic side. But the Secretary of State said he would like to see polling places like this counting those Republican votes first to make sure that those results are ready sooner. Reporting here in Salem, New Hampshire, I'm Gregg Lagerquist. Back to you.
All right, Greg, thank you. And Virginia's primary doesn't happen until March, but early voting is already underway. Currently, there are 6 Republicans and 3 Democrats on the ballot, and that includes some who've already dropped out of the races. You should know this is only the presidential primary. Virginia holds its congressional, Senate, and local primaries in June. And meantime, early voting for Maryland's primary election starts Thursday, May 2nd, and runs through May 9th. And here's a live look at President Biden campaigning in the Commonwealth today. He announced a campaign stop at the Hilton Performing Arts Center in Manassas, and that's on George Mason University's Science and Technology campus. The event is hosted by the Democratic National Committee. The First Lady and Vice President are also attending. And now to a developing story overseas, what's being called a major setback for Israel that could possibly lead to a ceasefire. ABC's Reena Roy shows us why.
Overnight, the deadliest attack on Israeli troops since the Israel-Hamas war began. At least 21 Israeli soldiers killed in Gaza. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu calling it one of the hardest days since the conflict broke out. According to the Israeli military, an IDF reserve unit was setting up explosives to demolish a pair of 2-story buildings in Gaza near the Israeli border when Hamas fighters fired an RPG at a tank nearby. Israeli officials say the blast set off a chain reaction, detonating the mines in the buildings, causing a massive explosion. The buildings collapsing with IDF soldiers inside. A funeral held for a 23-year-old military reservist who was killed, mourners and family members gathering in prayer. Meanwhile, in Gaza, crucial aid running out as fighting there rages on.
The risks of having pockets of famine in Gaza is very much still there. The conflict is limiting the delivery of, life-saving food assistance to people in need.
Gaza Civil Defense releasing this video showing a Palestinian boy being rescued after being trapped under the rubble of his home for days after an apparent Israeli airstrike.
Some areas of Gaza have seen the most intense fighting in weeks, especially in the south, where thousands have now reportedly fled the area. Reena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Russian missile strikes hit Ukraine's largest cities today. Ukrainian officials say at least 5 people were killed and dozens of others were injured in the attacks on Kyiv and Kharkiv. And these attacks come just days after Russian officials claimed Ukrainian shelling killed 27 people in occupied Ukrainian territory. Ukraine's military denied having anything to do with that alleged attack. A new study suggests that a simple blood test could screen for Alzheimer's disease even before a patient has any symptoms. And the test screens for one of several proteins that build up in people with Alzheimer's. Right now, that type of testing involves brain scans or spinal taps. But the study found the new blood test, which is much simpler, was just as accurate. The test is currently available for research use only, but one of the study's authors says it should be available for clinical use soon.
The company that has created this test, ALZ Path, has stated that it might be available as early as next month.
Wow.
Right now, it is available in research purposes, not yet in clinical purposes. And as for the price, it's estimated about $200 to $500. It might be covered by insurance, but as I stated before, that's still significantly less expensive than the currently available screening methods.
Now, researchers believe the test could also be a tool to help with early detection of the disease. According to a recent report by the American Cancer Society, cancer cases are on the rise among U.S. adults under the age of 50. But no matter the age, when cancer strikes, early detection is absolutely critical. Right now, scientists are testing new technology involving artificial intelligence using algorithms to detect and grade cancer. The algorithms can be trained to detect specific types of disease like prostate or breast cancer, and not only can they catch the cancer, but also determine how much cancer is present in the biopsy.
When we are detecting cancer using glass slides under the microscope, we are limited to how many people can see it, how many people I can consult with. But once it's in a digital format, not only can an expert review it, but we can then apply artificial intelligence algorithms to detect cancer.
And the algorithms can be trained to detect specific types of disease like prostate or breast cancer. And not only can they catch the cancer, but also determine how much cancer there is present and potentially could provide information to help with the prognosis of the disease. Well, the Maryland State Board of Education will consider a resolution related to literacy instruction when it meets today. And the board will also receive an overview of the governor's budget and policies related to virtual education in the event of severe weather. Other items on the docket include a recommendation for final adoption of a new college and career readiness standard, and it requires students to meet or exceed state assessment proficiency rates in both English and math. And Virginia Attorney General Jason Mayorkas will host a fentanyl awareness and Narcan training session in Prince William County tonight. The event starts at 7 p.m. at Potomac Valley Church in Dumfries. The event is free and open to the public. Well, coming up on 7 News at noon, how you might be able to snag some sweet travel deals if you book right now. But first, Gina Gannon as today's America's Steals and Deals.